What we're going to figure out is we're going to figure out now how to get the slope given 2 points. And we're going to be doing this sort of algebraically. Well, I guess not really algebraically, but numerically. Algebraically or numerically. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by explaining something. So if I say I'm going to have a notation x1. So what that means is that this one over here is called a subscript. And a subscript is just a description. It's just a description. So for example, what I could have said was x1 or x the first. And for example, I could also have x2. And that could be written as x2 or maybe x the second. This is very different than if I, for example, wrote x2 like this. That would be x squared. So that's x2. The subscript is x2 when the 2 is smaller and below the x. When the 2 is smaller and above the x, that means that it's squared. And we're not really going to be doing it this year, but you could actually have x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. And when you get to more advanced math, in fact, xn, xn plus 1. And these are all descriptions. This would mean the first x, second x, third x, fourth x, fifth x, nth x. I actually spell that. The nth x, or the n plus first x. So why did I go through that? So let's say I have a point. If I have a point P, what I might say is, I might say that it has an x value and it has a y value. And so the point I could describe as having an x value and a y value with the coordinates. Now, what I might also say, just to be more specific, I might, for example, say that the first point has a value of x1 and y1, and then we have some other point over here, which is a value of x2 and y2. And we can have a third point with x3 and y3, and so on and so forth. So keeping that in mind, we want to make a formula for the slope. So we want a slope formula. So the slope formula, we're going to have some points. So I'm going to say that we have a point over here and a point over here. And what we know, actually what I want is I want the slope of this line. So I want the slope of the blue line. And the way we find the slope of the blue line is we do rise over run. So we're going to do rise over run. Now the rise in this case, though, we're going from there to there. And the way we do that, so for example, if this was 3 and 10, then the rise would be from 3 to 10. We went up 7. Or another way of saying it is to find the rise is we could go 10 minus 3. If we're going to do it algebraically, the rise would be y2 minus y1. Similarly with the run, to figure out how long this is, we go that minus that, and the run becomes x2 minus x1. And then the slope is rise over run. And then the formula is, for the rise, it's going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Or just to rewrite it, the slope is y2, the second y, minus y1 over x2 minus x1.